Hey, what is up guys? So we're going to be doing a Shaddoll Dino deck profile. I've done this deck before, like I don't know, almost half a year ago really. But it was a really fun deck and it's the one I typically play when I'm using dinos. But also the fact that now Construct is back at 1, I've just always been wanting to upgrade this deck up and just test out how it does in this particular format. And so far I gotta say that compared to True King Dinos, it isn't as good, but overall it still is a really amazing deck to actually try out in these locals. So definitely take it out. You could definitely do well. Even in my old build, I was able to win at locals with it. So with this one, which is significantly stronger than the old one, I do think that you'll have a pretty good chance on this. So let's get on with the deck profile. To begin, we're playing 2 copies of Ultimate Conductor here. Conductor is definitely a 2 of in this one. Also, for the fact that he's a light, he is a potential fodder to go into your El Shaddoll construct if you really need to. Of course, we're playing 2 copies of Overtext here. Overtext is just a really amazing card to help search for your double evolution pill, so he's definitely very necessary as well at 2. We're also playing 3 copies of Oviraptor, of course, to ditch our Coatless to actually get our double evolution pill. That way we could actually accelerate either Ultimate Conductor or Coatless as well. We are also playing 3 copies of Miscellaneousaurus, of course, so last time we only had 1 of these, but ever since this came back from the ban list, it's now at 3, so it's definitely made the deck a lot stronger. We also have Giant Rex as an option as well. We have Dogoran. And interestingly enough, Shekanaga is still one of the good boss monsters for Shaddolls as well. So I do want a lot of Earth targets, so including Giant Rex, I'm also playing 3 copies of Pancratops, because I think that this card is... it wasn't really good enough for me to play in the True King Dino build, or even the pure build of dinos, but in this particular case where I'm mixing Shaddolls into it, it actually is a viable option that I do actually like, because we are playing a more faster variant of the deck, and it's definitely something that I would say is, I don't know, inherently competitive. Of course, aside from Oviraptor, we are also playing the Armageddon Knight. Last time we had 3, but of course this card went down to 1. So we are actually still going to be playing the 1 of these. But I did take out the reinforcement of the army because I felt that, you know, with only 1 target, it's not really worth clogging up the deck for. Same thing applies for Gold Sarcophagus. I also am not playing Gold Sarcophagus, simply we only have 1 target. So because of that, Gold Sarcophagus and Rhoda are both just removed from this deck just to save up space. For the Shaddolls, we are playing 2 copies of Shaddoll Beast. We are playing 1 copy of Shaddoll Dragon. We're playing 1 copy of Shaddoll Squamata, and we are also playing 1 copy of Shaddoll Hedgehog. These are the particular ones I'm playing. I would play Falco, only it's not really worth the space for this particular case unless I'm willing to go above 40 cards. But overall, it is definitely very nice to actually have a Hedgehog in there as well. I think it's a little bit better than Falco in this case, because Hedgehog can actually add your Shaddoll cards from your deck to your hand. So I think that's just slightly better. Of course, we are still playing the double evolution pill, so again, just like the Shaddolls, we do need some non-dinosaur targets, and in this particular deck we have a lot more targets. So we have here Ash Blossom, but of course that only helps us bring out Gristar, and of course the Shaddolls only go for Winder. So I'm also playing 2 copies of Effect Veiler because it's the light target, which allows us to go for our construct as well. But that's basically it for the hand traps. I mean, technically we are also playing the Pancratops, so that is kind of a hand trap in the sense that it's just going to deal with the opponent's board. But at the same time, this is just the build that I really like so far for the main deck monsters. Alright, well, onto the spells. We are obviously playing the 3 copies of Shaddoll Fusion. Although it can recur, we do want to actually draw into it as quick as possible, because these days everyone goes for an extra deck monster, so you're going to make the most out of your Shaddoll Fusions here. So 3 of is definitely very nice. If your opponent knows you have it, they'll try to get rid of it as well, so might as well just max out on 3 of them. Playing the Shaddoll Fusion helps with OTK potential since it is a quick play spell, so overall activate it during the battle phase and you could do a lot of potential fusion summoning. Playing the Super Poly, now of course I could have played 3 copies of the Shaddoll Fusion, but it is a hard once per turn, so I did drop it and instead decide to pick up the Super Poly instead. Sorry about the camera for refocusing, it's definitely really weird here. But yeah, Super Poly, definitely a very nice card. Playing 3 copies of Fossil Dig, obviously we still play plenty of dinos in this deck, so we got to do a lot of searching. As a result, Fossil Dig is definitely a very, very nice card. Again, to go for your Ultimate Conductor, we have Double Evolution Pill, just to go for your very early boss monsters, and then later on down the line, we could actually go for our later boss monsters, like the Shaddolls. Ultimately, this deck can really just OTK at a really fast pace, even faster than the True King Dinos, which focuses more on lockdowns, and as a result of that, it's not as quick in OTKing the opponent. But speaking of trying to OTK the opponent, they will definitely try to stop you. As a result, you got to stop them with Called by the Grave, because the hand traps are still going to be very big this particular format. It's getting more important, and Called by the Grave will definitely help you out. To extend our plays, we got a Monster Reborn, and to clear the board, we have a Raigeki. So that basically is it for the main deck, so let's move on to the extra deck. Alright, so onto the extra deck. With the new edition, we are playing the Shaddoll Construct. Came off the ban list a while ago, but of course only recently just upgraded this deck with the Shaddoll Construct. So really happy that it's now joining in the ranks here. But of course, we are still playing 2 copies of Shaddoll Shekhinaga. Shekhinaga is still just a really nice card, still does the job many times here, and there's plenty of Earth targets in this deck. So overall, she is definitely a really good choice to play as well. Grista, we're playing Ash Blossom, we're playing Miscellaneousaurus, we got 3 copies of each. It's very easy to go for Grista. In fact, I'm really surprised people aren't playing more of her. I'm thinking about actually bumping her up to 2 because of her effect to actually negate summons. So yeah, it's pretty nice in this particular deck. I'm gonna try and get another copy of these, but until then, I'll just stick with what I have. Playing 2 copies of Winder, obviously she is the dark target. This whole deck is predominantly dark. As a result, she definitely starts off really well here, and she's also the floodgate of the deck. For Xyz, we are playing the Evil Zarlagia, obviously because it's still a very easy option to go into. Same thing applies for Dolkar, same thing applies for Tornado Dragon, Abyss Dweller, and of course the number 41 Baguska. They all definitely do the job here in actually being part of a toolbox that can actually just stun your opponents or get you out of very difficult situations. For the Link monsters, we are playing a Nightmare Griffin. Again, together with Winder, they definitely have really great floodgates here. So your opponent really can't just do anything that they can, and you know, it's kind of sad that the only way to play Yugioh is your opponent can't play Yugioh. But at the same time, if that's how it is, then we're just going to have to do the same. We're playing the Nightmare Cerberus and the Nightmare Phoenix as a toolbox engine, and to help OTK our opponents, we also have the Underclock Taker here as well to reduce the monster's attack. But overall, this is definitely my more favoured build of the Dino decks here. This is the one I'll be sticking to. I'll be playing this entire format. So yeah, I hope you guys actually enjoyed this one, and I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.